Hey, welcome. So today we're diving into a collection of modern aphorisms that offer, well, a really powerful philosophy for our time. Think of it as a guide for navigating both our inner and our outer worlds. And it starts by flipping one of the most common pieces of advice you've probably ever heard completely on its head.
Wow, okay, so right out of the gate, that whole gospel of self-belief is put on trial. The argument here is that real strength isn't about some blind faith in who we think we are right now. No, it's about getting a crystal clear view of reality. And that starts with the only part of it we can actually control, ourselves.
And that leads us perfectly into our first big idea, mastering the world within. The core concept here is simple, but it is so profound. Everything we see, everything we judge out there is really just a reflection of what's going on in here.
Now, this is a radical call for personal responsibility, isn't it? The point isn't that the world is perfect. Far from it. It's that our experience of the world, our perception of its flaws, it all starts with our own perspective. So if your world feels broken, the first place to look for a fix isn't out there, it's in here.
Think about it this way. Our reality is a projection. Your mind is like a movie projector. You can't change the story by yelling at the screen, right? The only way to change the movie is to change the film reel itself, and that's your consciousness. This makes self-transformation the most practical, powerful tool you will ever have.
This distinction really forces us to ask a tough question about our own lives. Are we just surviving, running on that hamster wheel, just scrambling to get by? Or are we truly living, building a meaningful existence? The challenge here is to shift our whole focus from the scramble of survival to the actual art of living.
And to do that, you have to shift from just having knowledge to gaining wisdom. See, knowledge can be passive. It's just absorbing information. But wisdom is active. It's knowledge that you've tested, you've reflected on, and you've forged into a tool that you can use to solve real-world problems. It's all about turning what you know into what you can do. Okay, so once we start to get a handle on our inner world, how does that change how we deal with the outer one? Well, that brings us right to our second theme, navigating the social world and all of our relationships with other people. These four principles all share a common thread, don't they? It's a huge shift in focus. Instead of judging others, we're told to reflect on ourselves. Instead of trying to force other people to change, we work on our own reactions. It's about looking for the good in others and the weaknesses in ourselves. And that last one, honesty isn't just a moral virtue. It's the most efficient, lowest-cost policy you can have.
Now, this is a really fascinating insight into leadership, into how organizations work. When a charismatic founder is building something new, your loyalty is to their vision. You follow the person. But for that creation to actually last, it has to transition to a system of principles. For the people who come after, the successors, loyalty has to be to the rules, the law, not to any single individual. It's a brilliant take on how movements and companies have to evolve.
And here's just a simple, direct warning for keeping your social life healthy. It's not just the person spreading the gossip who's the problem. This points out that the person who loves to hear it also becomes part of the trouble. The only real way to win that game is to refuse to play at all.
All right, so from the personal and then to the social, we're now going to zoom out to the widest possible view. This section is all about our relationship with the universe itself, with nature, and with the fundamental order of things.
This aphorism just sets the tone perfectly. It's a philosophy of humility and alignment. The goal isn't to dominate nature or bend the universe to our will, but to understand its flow and learn to move in harmony with it. So what exactly is heaven in this context? Well, this philosophy calls it the greatest creator. Now, it's super important to understand this isn't some personified deity in the sky. It's a term for the underlying intelligence of the cosmos, the laws of nature, the flow of the universe, the creative force that drives everything. You could almost think of it as the source code for reality itself. And this just beautifully illustrates what it means to live in harmony with that principle. It's about finding wisdom and real contentment in our own nature. True fulfillment doesn't come from wishing you were something else, but from excelling at being exactly what you are meant to be within that grand design.
And this brings us to a core conclusion. A life finds its value in service. A meaningful life isn't measured by what you take, but by what you contribute to the whole, whether that's serving that universal order, protecting nature, or helping other people. It's a powerful call to look beyond ourselves.
So, this is where we bring all the pieces together. With an understanding of our inner world, our social world, and our place in the cosmos, how do we act?
what does a meaningful life actually look like in practice?
This aphorism puts it out there like a clear formula. Your value isn't measured by what you accumulate for yourself, it's measured by your positive impact on others. Meaning, in this view, is a direct result of your contribution. The wider your circle of positive influence, the more meaningful your existence becomes.
And this is just a powerful call to embrace that life with everything you've got. Don't hold back. If life is this fleeting experience, then the whole goal is to feel it, to engage with it, to participate in it so completely that there's nothing left to regret. It's a command to be fully, totally alive.
But, and this is so important, living fully doesn't mean taking the simple, straight path. This aphorism offers a beautiful paradox. Geometry tells us a straight line is the shortest path, right? But a life lived in a straight line misses all the experiences, all the lessons, all the mistakes, the very things that make it rich. The curved path, the one full of detours, is actually the shortest path to a complete and meaningful life.
And so that leaves us with a question for you to think about. Looking at your own journey, which path are you on? Is it a path of survival or one of true living? Of just collecting knowledge or actually cultivating wisdom? Is your path a straight line? Or are you brave enough to embrace the beautiful, meaningful curve?